Alright guys, we're going to talk a little bit about the First Amendment.
Not so fast, my friend. Before beginning to discuss the First Amendment and the protections it provides, I think it's important to talk about the history of the Bill of Rights and the amendment itself. The First Amendment is included in the Bill of Rights, which includes our first 10 amendments. It's best known for protecting the American people and their rights and freedoms. These freedoms were insisted upon by our founding fathers following the Revolutionary War. This war was fought because the colonists did not want to continue living under the oppression they had following the monarchy in England. These people felt the need for a change. Upon winning the war in 1776, they quickly realized they needed a government that would suit the people that had fought for the brand new country. Over the next few years, deliberations would be made. In 1789, James Madison introduced his first Bill of Rights to the first United States Congress. This Bill of Rights included what the Founding Fathers deemed the necessary rights for American citizens. The First Amendment is the most well-known of all amendments by the American people. The First Amendment protects the American people's rights to press, speech, assembly, petition, and the practice of any particular religion. It also prohibits the United States government from establishing a permanent religion.
The history of the First Amendment is very important. Respecting the establishment of religion or prohibiting free exercise thereof is a quote in the First Amendment discussing the freedom of religion. The freedom of religion has two parts. It's the Establishment Clause and the Free Exercise Clause. The Establishment Clause says that the government cannot create an official church, support religious activities, or one preference to one religion. The Free Exercise Clause states that the government cannot interfere with the expression of religious beliefs. Most cases under the Establishment Clause involve religion and education. The government has the power to regulate religious action. An example is in the case in 1879 between Reynolds and the United States. The court distinguished between beliefs and action. The Free Exercise Clause does not protect actions that violate laws, even if they are religious actions. The First Amendment protects religion as long as it doesn't
infringe on others. Religion's not the only area that's affected by the First Amendment rights. Would you believe the American court actually ruled that it is legal to burn the American flag? Texas v. Johnson, a case which was actually appealed up to the Supreme Court where a man was burning an American flag in a public area. Congress shall make no law abridging the freedom of speech. Defining speech is the most important part of this. Merriam-Webster's defines speech as the communication or expression of thoughts in spoken words. So was that the intent of the First Amendment, or did it mean to protect more than just speech? Based on the ruling of Texas v. Johnson, Justice Scalia and others would argue that it's more than just speech. As a matter of fact, burning of the flag, Justice Scalia was quoted in saying that it does not hurt the symbol, it only makes it stronger. Although the message was unclear, it was still protected. Not only can you say what you want, but the First Amendment allows you to be who you are. This is limited though. Don't use speech as a harmful tool, such as yelling fire in a theater, unless of course there is a fire in the theater. And conduct is protected no matter what, as long as it doesn't show clear and present danger to those around you. So say what you want and do what you want, but make sure it doesn't infringe on the rights of others.
Your right to free speech is limited. Defamation is the act of expressing a false statement to another individual that ruins their reputation. Defamation can be libel or slander, which means it can be written or said. In order to be charged with defamation, the offender must have said or written a false statement of fact communicated towards a third party that damages their reputation. There have been many lawsuits against defamation. Some have made it, some have not. One case of defamation that I found interesting was from 2001, and in this case, the rapper Marshall Mathers, known as Eminem, was being sued by his mother, Debbie Nelson. Nelson sued her son for $10 million because some of his lyrics in the songs were about her. Although Nelson sued her son for $10 million, after it was all said and done, she got $25,000 out of it. Defamation is a serious matter. So watch what you say or write about others, or you may find yourself being sued for defamation.
Freedom of speech laws are very in-depth. While your average
American undoubtedly knows that the First Amendment to the U.S. Constitution was designed to protect the freedom of speech, many may not know the exact amount of detail given to afford this right. Specifically, remember, mentioned within this First Amendment is the freedom of the press. The press was defined by Chief Justice Hughes as every sort of publication which affords a vehicle of opinion and information in Lovell v. City of Griffin, a case based on protection of protected literature. Therefore, any publication intended as a source of information and opinion is protected, with restrictions, of course, by the U.S. Constitution. Dictionary.com defines democracy as a form of government in which the supreme power is vested in the people and exercised directly by them or by their elected agents. This being said, it seems perfectly natural and justified that the people retain the right to the information and opinions formed both amongst themselves as well as by the agents elected to lead them. This clause of the First Amendment helps protect the American people from becoming misled or ignorant about all the facets and areas of their lives. Further, there are restrictions set upon the Freedom of Press Clause that help protect Americans from the fact that press is protected. A nation run by and in the best interests of its people must naturally concede the right to information and opinions by whatever vehicle may be afforded to those people. The press, or at least the concept of it, lies at the very heart of a democratic nation, particularly in the day and age where media is king. The First Amendment is an insurance policy for the American people, reserving their right to knowledge and power,
Especially in the area of the press.
The First Amendment laws are very important to the American people, from history to religion and speech to democracy. The First Amendment protects Americans' rights to knowledge and information.
What you want? Come on.